This property report is powered by realestate.com.au. Know the value of your home today. Track your property now.
To property now, and following the news last week that in-person property inspections would return in Melbourne, the reaction of buyers was almost immediate. To tell us more is John Healy from realestate.com.au. John, great to see you. How did the market respond?
Well, following the announcement that those in-person property inspections would resume in Melbourne with restrictions, applications to inspect properties in Victoria on realestate.com.au increased 484% when compared to the day before the announcement was made, and that trend has continued through the week. In the past 7 days, inspection applications are 423% higher than they were in the previous 7 days, and general inquiries to agents are also up 62%. And all of that is good news, with other data out this week revealing that suburbs on Melbourne's outskirts are among the most in-demand suburbs for house buyers nationally over the past 12 months. Serious buyers who are close to making a purchase based on their activity on the site have really been drawn to Berwick, 41 kilometres to the southeast of the Melbourne CBD. That's the most in-demand suburb for houses right now, followed by Buderim on the Sunshine Coast, Frankston, Kellyville in Sydney, and Mornington on the Mornington Peninsula, I should say, as well. And buyers have been really interested in these suburbs as the pandemic and the lockdowns continue, because they're looking at those outer suburban and coastal areas, which are still a very close commute into the CBDs. They offer more space, often offer better affordability as well, and great lifestyle factors. And with the working from home trend set to continue past the COVID pandemic, it has meant that buyers have been able to consider suburbs like this that not that long ago would have actually been a little more impractical for them.
And now, from the suburbs most popular with house hunters to the latest auction numbers, where do buyers have the most choice this weekend?
Well, auction buyers around the capital city markets this weekend have slightly more choice. We're expecting just under 1,200 properties to go to auction around the capital cities this weekend. That is an increase of 4% week on week. And looking around the capital cities now, numbers are up in most of these cities, apart from Adelaide. This week, Melbourne expecting 13% more auctions this week when compared to last. Numbers are up 10% in Brisbane week on week as well, which is really great. But the biggest jump has been in the ACT, with 73 auctions scheduled in that market this weekend. That's a whopping 170% week-on-week increase on the very low auction numbers that were held in the ACT last weekend. Nationally, we're expecting a total of just under 1,500 properties to go to market around the country this week. That number is flat week-on-week, but is actually 75% higher year on year.
And looking back to last weekend briefly, what did clearance rates look like around the country?
Well, clearance rates on the auction results available around the major capital cities last week remained very resilient. And having a look around the capital city markets now, numbers were up in each market apart from Adelaide and Melbourne last week. In fact, Melbourne had its lowest clearance rate result since early July, but still sitting at an 88% clearance rate is a very strong and resilient number for that market. The ACT, obviously, there with a perfect clearance rate result. That was based on 23 auction results, and there were 29 auctions scheduled to go to market in the ACT last weekend.
And just finally, John, for those buyers in the market right now, which homes have proved most popular this week?
Well, the most popular homes this week really do speak to that COVID-led shift of buyers searching in those outer suburban and coastal areas. A home in Frankston tops the most viewed list this week. And as we know, that is one of the most in-demand suburbs for serious house buyers right now. Elsewhere, homes in Crafers West, which is around a 20-minute drive from Adelaide, has been popular. A beautiful home in Brunswick Heads up near Byron Bay on the New South Wales North Coast is also there. And the beautiful home in the Adelaide Hills village of Mylor is on the list again this week. But if we take a closer look now at our third most viewed home of the week, it's a little bit closer to town. It's in the Melbourne suburb of Hawthorn, just 6 kilometres from the CBD. But looking at these pictures, it really does feel like you would be living far more remotely than that. Some of these images do really make it feel like a real tree house. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom property on 1,400 square metres. It has a price guide beginning at $6.9 million. And in fact, the last time this home was sold was back in 1968, and it is a really great example of that 1960s design aesthetic. And for those buyers lucky enough to be interested in this property, it is set to go to auction on the 19th of October, Danica.
Yeah, beautiful views there of the river. Absolutely stunning property. John Healy, thank you. We'll see you again next week.